So we're standing here. This is actually the great room. We had a previous video showcasing, again, these antique doors that are behind me that have been custom fitted for this exact spot. And again, the black marble that's gonna be trimmed around this fireplace around, two-sided fireplace. The purpose of this video is the fire sprinklers. Now, a lot of people ask the values of fire sprinklers. So we have a client right now, a trade partner of ours, and unfortunately they had a life-changing experience where fire started, house burned down. By the time the fire department got there, it was too late, right? And again, it was an older home, so this was how the home was purchased. On new construction in Arizona. So depending on the municipality, keep in mind that we are in desert zones. So just overall as a big picture, with insurance, right? Our clients we require that they get what's called a builder's risk policy. Now in some areas of Scottsdale, it's really hard for them to get the builder's risk policy. In fact, some insurance companies, without calling them out, won't even insure these areas because of fire hazard, right? In the desert and exposure. That's where it's really important. That's why the city of Scottsdale, predominantly here in town, they're requiring that we put in fire sprinklers into the home. Fire sprinklers are really beneficial because when a fire starts, right, and those kick on, it's gonna subdue the fire, right? It's gonna put that out, and then now we're just dealing with some water damage, which is pretty easy to repair. Fire damage is very difficult to repair. So in the city of Scottsdale, that municipality is gonna require fire sprinklers for us to put in all of our projects. So we're accounting for that. And a fire sprinkler permit is a separate submittal, which means we have our normal building plans, right? Soils report that's gonna go into our engineering, our civil and mechanical, plumbing, electrical. The company that we're using for the fire sprinklers is gonna do a separate permit, similar as the pool. When we're doing a pool, it's gonna be a separate submittal for the permit. Get our fire sprinkler permit, do the fire sprinkler design, and keeping in mind that the fire sprinklers always have to be at the top point, right? So anywhere there's a closet, if there's a step up, soffit, you want to always make sure that we have at the highest point, you have sprinklers, so when that engages, it can hit all the areas, especially if it's in the ceiling. Now, a lot of people think of just the old sprinkler system, right? Where they're exposed, they hang down a few inches, they're easy to bump, maybe in a closet or with a ladder. Now here you're gonna see above me in these beams, that's what most people look at. But what ends up happening is, even though those are cored out, as these are completed, as we come in and trim out the fire sprinklers in this room, those are actually capped. So those are capped onto the beams. The caps will be painted and match the beams. So you'll see a little circular cap that'll be flush with the beam, painted, ideally hiding the exposure of those sprinklers and still keeping the integrity of the design of the ceiling. As we go down the hallway, and you notice this in the coffer ceiling as well, we're gonna have little caps on the fire sprinklers. So there's still a way to include fire sprinklers in your home, make it very keep the design aesthetic very well to the integrity of the home, and still get the functionality and the benefit of having that fire sprinkler in the house. Again, as you're looking at homeowners insurance, it does help our clients, especially on homes that are bigger, more expensive. There is value having fire sprinklers, just as that's one of the questions that your insurance company asks as they're insuring the home. There are some areas in town where you can get by, if there's requirements that there's a fire hydrant. So we're in Gilbert and Chandler. So in Gilbert and Chandler, it's not like Scottsdale where they're requiring you to have fire sprinklers. So unless the client specifies it, for most builders, they probably won't put it in. For us, it's a common practice that we're putting fire sprinklers in all of our builds. And that's a separate line item that we run through with our clients, and we explain the benefit to it for us and them. But in Gilbert Chandler, if you have a fire hydrant, so with the fire hydrant, as long as it's within a certain proximity of the house, you can get by without fire sprinklers. And typically, Gilbert Chandler, there's gonna be a square foot minimum where you may have to have the fire sprinklers in the home, especially as it gets into a bigger build. So again, a lot of benefit to fire sprinklers, and there are options to keep that, again, hidden from the general eye.